Hello all, I'm Divya and my today's topic is lipids. Lipids are organic compounds that contain hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, these atoms. So these are the framework of structure and function of this living organism. So what are lipids? Lipids, they are organic compound and they are non-polar molecule as well. They are soluble only in non-polar solvent and insoluble in water, because water is polar molecule. So in the human body, this molecule can be synthesized in the liver, and these molecules are also found in butter, oil, and whole milk, cheese, and some red meats. So lipids are then properties of lipids are a family of organic compound, and these compose of fats and oil. So this molecule yield high energy and are responsible for different type of function in our body. So the lipids are oily and greasy nonpolar molecules. They store in adipose tissue of our body. Then lipids are also the heterogeneous group of compound. So they mainly composed of hydrocarbon chain. Then lipids are energy rich organic compound or organic molecule. So they provide different life processes. Lipids are also the class of compound which are characterized by their solubility in non-polar compound, so and insolubility in water as well. So liquids are significantly important in biological system, as they form a mechanical barrier between cell from its external environment. So uh, they play important role in cell membrane formation. So lipid structure: lipid is a polymer of fatty acid, and they contain long non-polar chain of non-polar hydrocarbon chain, um, with some small polar region that contain oxygen. So the classification of lipid are classified in two types: non-saponifiable lipid and saponifiable lipid. So non-saponifiable lipid, this cannot be disintegrated into a smaller molecules by the process of hydrolysis. So example is cholesterol or prostaglandin. Then comes the saponifiable lipid. Saponifiable lipid comprises of one or more group, ester group. So this undergoes hydrolysis in the presence of base or acid or enzyme that also include a waxes, triglyceride, phospholipid, and sphingolipid as well. So this further are classified divided into non-polar and polar one. The non-polar lipids, they are namely triglyceride, and they used in fuel and store the energy. Then comes in polar lipid. These are the These form a barrier with external water environment, and it is utilized in a membrane. Then comes the polar lipid. Polar lipids are glycerophospholipid or sphingolipids. So lipids or fatty acids are pivotal component in our cell body or lipids. So types of lipid: there are two major classes of lipid. So lipids are of two types: simple lipid and complex lipid. Simple lipid consists of fats and waxes. Fats are the ester of fatty acid with the glycerol, and oil are the fat. Then comes the waxes. Waxes is a ester of fatty acid with higher molecule, um, like monohydric alcohols. So complex lipid are of three types: phospholipid, glycolipids, and other complex lipids. So complex lipid is a ester of fatty acid that additionally contain fatty acid and alcohol. So phospholipid, this lipid contain addition of fatty acid and alcohol, phosphate group, etc. So sphingophospholipid is example of this. Then comes the glycolipid contain a fatty acid, then sphingosine and carbohydrate. Then comes other complex lipid that includes lipids such as sulfolipids and aminolipids. Then fatty acids are then divided into two types, uh, that is divided on the basis of carboxylic acid and its long aliphatic tails. So this is divided into two types, saturated and unsaturated fatty acid. Saturated fatty acid is the one that have carbon carbon bond, which is single bond. So they are rod like shape, means this molecule packed together and form a rod like shape. And unsaturated fatty acid is the one that have two or more bond in between two carbons, or carbon carbon double bond or carbon carbon triple bond. So these are unsaturated fatty acid. So the role of fat is to help in proper functioning of the body, and fat soluble vitamins are need to be associated with fats in order to effectively absorb in the body. Then they also provide insulation to the body. So this lipid provides insulation to the body, and they are effective storage. So they store energy in a effective form for a longer period. So whenever we require this, the stored fatty acid will help in formation of energy. Then comes the example of lipids. Lipids are of waxes. Lipids means the example of lipids are waxes, then phospholipid, oil, triglyceride, steroid, cholesterol, etc. So this is all about liquid. Thank you.